Yaz.
I'm Kieran.
Benito's childhood dog got put down last week.
Yeah, you said he was, what was he, like 13 years or something?
Nearly 15. She would have been 15 in January. But, yeah, she had just gone all old and all muscles were, like, wasting away. And she used to look like a bear, but you could see she was all frail and her fur had gone all old and she was all lumpy and bumpy. And she had, like, sores on her elbows and, I guess, knees, if you call them that.
Yeah.
Because basically, what happened? Well, she'd just fall. Like, she'd just try to go out the back door and she'd just fall. Like, it must be when there's an imbalance of weight across all four legs. She couldn't cope, and one of her paws was dead arthritic, and she'd, like, have her claws out all the time. She'd basically be ice skating on the laminate because she can't, like... Well, claws are out, so she's sliding around. So Benito's dad had to put all, like, rugs down. And she was incontinent, so it was definitely a time.
Yeah.
It was really nice, though, because when my dog got put down, we had to take her to the vets because it was locked down and stuff, and it was just grim, like we had to say bye on a car park. But when I was round Sam's and they were having patients put down, it was quite a nice way because the vet came out to the house and Sam was like stroking her and she was just in the spot she was always in, and it was just an easy way to go. Just literally fell asleep in her own home and that was it. So yeah, it was quite a nice and respectful way to go, really. Yeah, no more suffering.
Well, that's the thing with euthanasia. Well, and she's like, how old? What did you say? 15.
Nearly, yeah.
Yeah, and how long do those sort of dogs like live for on average? Isn't it like 12?
9 to 11.
9 to 11. So no, it's
Japanese
fair
keep
enough. Yeah. How long can you actually keep something alive till it's worth keeping around?
That's it, if it's suffering.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with this new assisted dying bill that they're bringing in. Have you seen about it?
I've heard about it briefly, but I don't know what's actually changed with what's allowed in this country, because doesn't it affect insurance and everything? I don't know if it's permitted.
Well, right now it'd affect your insurance because it's illegal still in the UK.
Yeah.
But there's, I think her name's Kim Leadbeater, a Labour MP.
Yeah.
She's like the driving force behind the bill. Excuse me. So it's called the Terminally Ill Adults, open bracket, End of Life, close bracket, bill.
Yeah.
And essentially what it is just to allow euthanasia within a certain circumstance in the UK.
Well, hasn't Canada done something with the euthanasia bill? But you can go in if you're just feeling that you're like mentally unwell or something, so it's not even anything necessarily like physical sickness or anything. So, but that's a bit mad, because like, what if you're feeling down and depressive
shit
that day and you feel like you're offing yourself? There's still hope, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like if like what's the word?
If you're like terminally
ill. Like if you're terminally ill, then I guess that's a completely different scenario too, because you're only going to get worse.
Yeah, so I think in the UK that's the only time it's going to be illegal, if it's to do with someone who's
terminally ill. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there needs to be a clear outline on what a terminal illness is, because like in our minds, when you think of terminal illness, you think cancer or, well, pretty much just cancer really. Obviously there are others, but most people think of cancer and tumours and, you know, something that we're not going to get better from. But obviously there's other illnesses, like what we were talking about earlier, is it Huntington's disease? Which is basically like, I mean, it's an autoimmune disease and just shuts your body down.
Yeah.
You hit your like 40s or 50s.
Well, it slowly just starts like decaying your brain, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my great uncle had it as well. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Quite rare as well, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently it's like skips generations and it's mainly men that get it as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Very unusual. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with that, like, for me, I'd say that's a terminal illness you should be allowed to decide before your brain's incapable of making that decision.
Yeah.
But then people could say a terminal illness is like chronic depression or autism, where they feel like they don't fit in. They could technically say that's a terminal illness because it's an illness they'll have until
they die.
They die.
Or something, yeah.
So I think there needs to be a clear definition on what a terminal illness counts as for you to be, what's it called, like pass the application, I guess, for the euthanasia.
So what has it actually said so far then? What's allowed?
Well, it's still up for debate, but like I say, they've just put about terminally ill, but they're making sure they put outlines, guidelines for doctors and things, because say there's a language barrier, and they misunderstand and think you want to end your life, they could accidentally sign something to kill you if they don't understand, or corrupt medical professionals. They could just offer you. There's a lot of, or like even some sick twisted fuck who just wants the money off the parents or grandparents and like, I'll sign on their behalf. Although, to be fair, I'm not sure if you're going to be allowed to sign on someone's behalf. I think that's one of the points that's up for debate, because...
So how long will it be going through, or don't people know? Yeah.
It just depends, I'd say. I know that I think it's about halfway through the House of Commons, and then I'm pretty sure it's got to go through the House of Lords if it makes it through House of Commons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm guessing not a lot will happen till after Christmas now, because all the politicians will be on holiday and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, me personally, I do agree with it. It's just it needs to be very specific guidelines for it so that it can't be abused.
So, do you think any mental illnesses or anything like that should be acceptable for this euthanasia?
Are you classing the Huntington's as mental or not?
Well, it's literal physical
It's both,
decaying
innit?
of the brain. I guess Alzheimer's is a disease in the brain, so I guess.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Well.
See, with Alzheimer's, I think you should be able to.
Like, have the option.
Yeah, because Alzheimer's, I don't know if I'd rather cancer or Alzheimer's, because with cancer, at least mentally up there, you know what's going on. With people with dementia, I just think it's horrible, like losing the mind and
losing parts of yourself.
or getting lost, and there's a fucking missing persons warrant out for you because you've gone AWOL in the middle of the night and no one knows where you are. I think it's fucking horrible when you see them stories like people being pulled out the canals because they've had Parkinson's and just walked into water and stuff. So
yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. So I think you should be able to with Parkinson's, and I think your family should be able to, because no one wants to see the family member suffer like that.
Well, yeah, wait, so what do you mean, what should be able to, yeah, but shouldn't it be
so
up to them?
So if I have Parkinson's, and you can't even ask me, because I don't know what date it is, or
yeah, but it depends what they've said prior though, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but my nan said to me when I was like 16 or 17, she was like, if I ever get dementia or I'm bedbound and I'm just basically a vegetable, just give me loads of pills and kill me. I don't know if I'd ever have it in me to do that, because then I'd see myself as a murderer and I've got to live that I've killed me nan or something. So,
well, if your nana passes away, yeah, looks like you're going to be first suspect.
Yeah, if that's how.
Yeah.
But like, I just think that's heavy to put on a relative, even though you're asking for their help if you're past a point to do something about it yourself.
Yeah.
But I've seen loads of people put statuses saying that they had family members who were dying of cancer and saying, can you please just kill me? And obviously they don't, and they're just watching them suffer. And they wished it was legal so that they could have helped them end the life, because they just died slowly and in pain and suffering rather than choosing when they died.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to die in hospital, really, do they? In like palliative care.
No.
It's just not nice. And if we are compassionate enough to our pets to not want to see them suffer and to euthanize our pets when we think you're suffering and I can't see you go through this. If we can do that for our pets, why can't we do that for our loved ones? Because it's harder with our loved ones because they're telling us they want to die as well a lot of the time.
Nah, but I pretty much agree. Like, you should have the option. But then doesn't that affect insurance and stuff like that, like life insurance?
The policy is now, yeah, but the problem, if this bill gets passed and euthanasia is legalised, then obviously all them policies will have to change. Because now, on an insurance policy, if you commit suicide, your life insurance is voided as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, yeah, so not good. And a lot of people, not just insurance, but a lot of people are saying, oh, it's going to cost the taxpayer loads of money. And yeah, it probably will, but will it save us money in the long run? Because we're not, if someone's stage 4 cancer and we're giving them steroids and we're giving them different treatments to keep them alive, but they've said, say that goes on for 3 years, whereas on the first year when he knew it was terminal, they were like, I want to die a year from now. I don't want your treatments apart from the ones that might help me a little bit. Not like the radiotherapy or chemo that's going to make me iller before it makes me any better. Just give me the steroids. I'm going to live my life and I'm going to kill myself on this date and get it all booked in. I think that's way better. If someone told me I was going to die and I could try all these treatments and I'm still going to die, I might just prolong it. Or they'll give me something to make me comfortable and I can plan my death and live my life as best as I can in a shorter amount of time. I'd rather take that option.
Yeah, definitely.
When my dog was diagnosed with a heart murmur, which somehow ended up disappearing, I was told that she couldn't go on long walks and she needed to stay on a lead. And I said from the start, this is Suki by the way, I was like, quality over quantity, you going off the lead, like you run and be free, because I'd rather you have a shorter life being happy than having a longer life and being tied down.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's a fair right. So is there a petition that people can sign for this or something, or how does it work?
I think originally there was, but like got the signatures like that, so
okay.
Now it's actually being debated in Parliament and House of Commons.
So when you're vegetable, is Benita got permission to smother you with a pillow?
Yeah, if that's how he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd like that. I'd rather just something a bit more subtle, where I'm not being starved of oxygen and that's like panic in the last few seconds.
Like the air bubble thing.
Is that quick and easy, or is that...
I think so. I think like the air, if you get, I think that much air.
Honestly, I just think whatever the dogs have, give me a human version, because they just fall asleep and it's dead nice. Remember on Coronation Street, I didn't really watch this when it happened, but when there was that whole Roy Cropper and Hayley Cropper, she killed herself because she had cancer. Yeah. Yeah, she ordered the stuff online and did it, and he was in the room, but I think she wrote a letter pretending that he wasn't or something, because he could go to prison for being there with her when she did it, for not stopping her, even though he didn't touch the stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's fucked as well, because obviously you want to be there with them if they're going to do that. They don't want to die alone if they have the choice to choose not to.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I think it should be legalised as well, because it's just nicer. Like you sent me the My Sister's Keeper stuff.
Which thing was this?
You know the reels, and it was a little girl who was taking a family to court because she didn't want them using her body to make her sister better anymore. Alec Baldwin's in it. And Cameron Diaz.
Wait there. What happened?
It was one of your great crying now.
What?
So right, so there's a little
Show
girl.
me.
I am spoiling the shit out of this if you haven't watched it, and you really should. So there's a little girl, and she's 11 or 12, and she's got a sister who's like 15 or 16, and she's hospitalised, dying of cancer. And there's a brother who's like in the middle as well.
Wait, shit! Oh, and then, yeah, I remember now. Oh, great crying now. Yeah, it's the fucking Mary Jane from the original Spider-Man, but as a little girl, it's her, and she's also in Small Soldiers. But yeah, she's...
That's not her.
She
She just looks like her.
No, Google it.
No, the Spider-Man, his original Spider-Man was out before that film.
No.
Because I was about 12 when that film came out. That girl was about our age at the time.
And fucking what was the thing in it? It was a so she gave because a little kid wants her to pass away, doesn't she? Yeah. Well, what's the...
And this is her now, and you'll go, oh yeah, that's not her from Spider-Man.
If I do not recognise her.
So, in this film, obviously, she's taking a family to court because she doesn't want them to use her body anymore.
To help her
Because
sister. Yeah, and the sister wants to pass.
Because I don't know if you explained it on the reel, but she was only alive because her parents had her like genetically modified, because they found out the other daughter, the one who had cancer, they found out when she was like 6 years old, and Jesse, the little brother, didn't have the same like blood type or organ type, whatever, to help Kate, but the doctor said we can like genetically modify a baby to make sure it has all the same bits as Kate, so they can be an organ donor and donate everything for Kate. That's why that little girl was born, and I don't know if they explained that in the reels.
Yeah, I didn't think I got that in the reel.
Yeah,
don't think so
from like a toddler, she was having these surgeries and giving stuff to her sister.
Yeah.
And obviously that was just her life. That's what she was born for. She would never have been alive.
Right.
Her parents would never have had any more kids. They would have stopped at them two, and had stopped at them two until the doctor said, if you have another kid, we can make sure it's got the gene, like the whatever, to give to Kate. So then she obviously takes court, blah blah blah, and then it comes out that the reason this has happened is because Kate doesn't want to live anymore, and she's made Anna take a family to court over it because her mum won't listen, and she just wants to die. She's sick of going through all this.
Yeah.
She hasn't lived a life really. She's been
Why
in
don't you
hospital.
just tell her the truth? That's that scene, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, great. Crying
It's a
out.
really good film. You should watch it, but you will cry like, yeah. Yeah. So that film made me think, yeah, he should be allowed. But then again, because of her age, that probably would have been up to her parents.
Yeah, should the child...
Because some states in America do legalise euthanasia, don't they?
Yeah, but then should the child have the option? I don't know. That's a weird one.
I think if the child's like... I think if the child's 14, it can decide for itself, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good age.
So she should have given her sister that kidney or something, or whatever.
No?
Because they were young still.
No, but I mean the elder one was like 15 or 16, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So if she said
to
the doctors...
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for the other little girl, it'd be up to the parents, which I do agree with, but that whole storyline's fucked because realistically, I don't think most people would have another baby just to use to benefit the other child, because once that baby's born and you've carried it, I feel like you wouldn't want to put your child through that if it was a real life
bone marrow
situation.
transplant as well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal.
It is brutal. And on a slightly happier note.
You want a little break to open your Prezi?
Yeah. Got a present from work.
You've been itching to open this.
The Cornish hamper store. Oh. I don't even know how you meant.
Oh, this other bit, that bit. Yeah.
There we go. Woo! We got some crisps.
Open your message.
Oh. Thank you for your continued hard work, dedication, commitment this year. Wishing you and your loved ones a happy and healthy 2025. Very nice. Very nice.
Did you know you're vegan?
Mostly. Oh, thank you!
Is it vegan?
No, probably not, but it's fine. I don't mind having
I
on
know
there.
you don't.
Dry roasted peanuts.
Oh, that's good. Slightly know you.
Luxury hot chocolate. Caramel sea salt fudge. Copper pot.
What? Copper pot?
Oh, clotted cream fudge. There we go. Original Cornish fairings.
What's that?
Yes, popcorn is exactly what I was hoping to do here. Sweet and salty. Lightly salted.
Mix them together, I would.
And then Cornish tea. And then the best bit, yeah. Fluffy stuff, yay!
Ooh. Now what you can do is wrap this in wrapping paper and put someone else's present in it.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
It's an A-rated.
Really nice box for someone else.
Would you like to try some fudge?
Are you opening it?
Yeah.
And we thought it was Choppies.
So, I guess I'll put this down here now.
You get your fudge and I'll get the tablet ready to read out some of our audience's opinions.
Yeah. So I'm going first. This is the sea salt one.
I thought it was like all in blocks and I had to snap it then. No, that is, yeah. Yeah, no, so.
And then this one's a clotted cream.
What do you prefer? It tastes the same.
Probably the clotted cream.
Clotted cream sweeter in it.
It's more creamy.
Welcome to the push game. Level 2. Level 3.
I'll have another beer. Oh wait.
We asked you guys what you thought about the assisted dying bill. I know that's not the name, but it's just what we're going to call it because it's easier than the big long name. So,
VDB.
one person said, this is their opinion, a human being who's been given the news that they're about to face a period of suffering unlike anything a healthy person could imagine, whilst holding the weight of the thought of their family watching them wither over the course of months, being told by other human beings that they must suffer only for their reward to be a slow and painful death, is an outright rejection of free will. Comprehensive safeguarding processes need to be in place and adhered to by medical professionals to ensure people aren't being misinformed before making the decision. In a good world, all a human being truly has in life is a decision on how they live it. Dying is a part of life, and I see no reason why an individual can't have a day in how they do that too. Similar to abortion, if someone wants to do it, they likely will. It's only better to allow people access to these things in a safer and more dignified way. I agree with him.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I guess it is like abortion, like, we can choose, in the UK, we can choose if we don't want to have a baby yet, if we get pregnant. Obviously, men might kick off here and say, no, it's a woman's choice. Yes, it's a woman's choice because it's a woman's body. It's a podcast for another day, but point being, it's legalised, and if you can end a life before it begins, why can't you end your own life before it's horrific? Obviously within reason. I don't mean if you're depressed, then I just think you need help from a shrink.
Yeah.
Not euthanasia, but you know. So, yeah, there's not much I can debate with about that, because I totally agree, really. I mean, I'm lucky enough that nobody in my family has ever suffered. Most people in my family have died like suddenly and overnight sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's better or not, but I don't know. I just think if someone was suffering, then I'd want them to have the option to end their own life. And there's them, have you seen them pods as well for couples to die together?
What pods?
Like sleeping next to each other, euthanasia pods that just starves their oxygen.
No.
Okay, I'll pull it up. I'll just put one other comment somebody else put.
Okay.
Which is them saying that because Jeremy Corbyn doesn't agree with the bill, and I think a lot of people were expecting Jeremy Corbyn to be in favour of it. Somebody said that a loved one was ready to die with their illness and they were in constant pain, and they once joked that they were going to go to Switzerland, because obviously euthanasia's legal in Switzerland. But instead, they spent the last Christmas in hospital, slowly dying, and they were barely able to breathe. So their opinion is, this person's opinion is, that they should allow people control over their own life, whilst also recognising the negligence towards those who are disabled or don't receive the adequate health and social care. And yeah, I mean, that's another kettle of fish, because if say you've got AIDS and somehow you can't speak, or you've got motor neuron disease like Stephen Hawking's.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take Stephen Hawking for an example, when he started, he probably would have wanted to end his life, because he's gone from being an able-bodied human being who was, got his shags in, managed pull, very brainy, and then he's lost everything but control over his fucking dick, hasn't he? That's the only thing that works for him, really, without a machine. So when that process started, he might have said, fucking kill me now. I don't want to be at the point where I'm fucking drooling and I've just got, a machine talking for me. But now, he'd probably say, oh, I'm glad I didn't do that, because actually my life's been brilliant. Something I never thought would happen. So it's different ends of the spectrum, isn't it, with it? And,
Yeah.
You said something to me the other day, actually. You said, would you rather be in a coma for 30 years and then wake up,
Yeah.
Or would you rather just die
No.
and never know?
Yeah. Mm.
And to be honest, I think I'd rather die and not be in a coma for 30 years, unless somehow in that coma I was fucking loving life. But you don't know that, do you?
Have you ever seen a TV show called Ashes to Ashes?
I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
It's based on this guy who, this police officer who went in a coma. And, but he just like, all of a sudden he's like, wakes up and he's like in the 80s or something like that. And he's a police officer in the 80s and he just goes on like solving crimes and people are like, you've always been here? And he's like, what? But I've been in another life. And then he just ends up solving crimes and whatever. And then you end up finding out he's in like purgatory. But, and he has to sort of redeem himself in this other make-believe world before he can pass on. And, but the thing is, like, with being in a coma or whatever, for example, it either just flies by, you're either aware, but you just can't move, or like sometimes you close your eyes or you keep it open, whatever. And then other times you're just stuck in a dream, aren't you? So, I don't know. I wouldn't like to gamble on that. If you could just pass by and I didn't even know, then yeah, I'd do the 30 years. But if it's like the one where you can't move and you're just aware of everything going on around you, oh God, that'd be hell.
Well, I heard something interesting on Mr. Ballin episode once, and this, it's a little bit of a tangent because it's not assisted dying, but it's related to the coma thing. So there was a guy, and he had, I think he was like hitting the head with a football, something minor, or maybe he was hit by a car, but I don't even think it was that serious. I think it was literally a football or a basketball or something and knocked him out for a few minutes. Anyway, that was that. And like, he went to uni, met this woman, got married, had kids, had a house, and he noticed in the corner of his room he had this lamp, but it was dead blurry and it didn't seem real like the rest of the room did. And he thought it was like his eyes or whatever, but there was nothing wrong with his eyes. I think he went to doctors, nothing wrong. Anyway, this light kept seeming bigger and more prominent in his life, but it was a blur. And he'd fixate on this lamp because it was just weird that it was like blurry when everything else was real. Anyway, one day, I think the light got brighter and brighter and he woke up and he sat up. And it turns out everything that he'd imagined over like the last 10 years was in his head, and he was been unconscious for like a couple of minutes because he got hit by this ball.
Oh God.
And in that short amount of time of him being passed out, he had lived this whole life, got married, had kids, been uni, and it was all real to him.
Yeah.
And he had to go through serious counselling because he was bereaving his kids and his wife because these people didn't exist. They were all made up, none of it was real, but it was so real to him. And he said it was like 10 years of his life, and it was, you know, but none of it was real. But to him, in them 2 minutes he was in a coma, that was actually 10 years in his mind that was real. And that's fucked. That's horrible, that's so traumatic.
Yeah.
It's like literally being in a simulation, that is, really.
Well, I've had dreams where it's like, I imagine I'm in a relationship with someone, it's all going all sweet and everything, and you wake up and you're like,
they're not even real.
not even real. It's like your heart's been broken, it's like, oh, no.
Wow.
But yeah, and if it's the dream version of being in a coma, I don't know, is that worse, do you think? I don't know.
I think if you've had kids in whatever it was and it seemed real,
Yeah.
that's fucking horrible. Because
Yeah,
I
to then
suppose if
come
you
out of
felt
that.
that love for your kids and were watching
Yeah.
them grow up, and they were never existed, the woman never existed, you never went to uni, you never got them qualifications, you never got that job you thought
All
you
this
had.
was just a bloody dream.
Yeah. And the worst thing is like, it's not like you've woke up and you can deal with your own shit because you're on your own. it's like everyone's around you like, you alright mate, you just got knocked out for like 5 minutes from that ball.
Mm.
And you're like, no, I'm not okay. Everything's a lie. But yeah, I've gone off a tangent, but I thought that was really interesting, and that's one of the Mr. Baldwin episodes that's stuck with me, because I was like, shit, that'd be fucking devastating.
It happened with Ari Shafir when he did Salvia on a podcast live, and he said he felt like he lived like a whole life and he had a family and everything, and then he just came to and it was like, whoa.
None of it was real.
None of it was real, yeah.
It is gutting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it. Wouldn't like it one bit.
No, not at all. No.
What do you think you'd do if it was your children you had to make the choice for your child then? If your child was ill, because you're a parent, so obviously I'm not yet, so I can't really say, but if it was your child who had a terminal illness and they were going to suffer, would you want to let them choose the deadline and the death date and do everything you can with them? Or would you try and keep pushing to extend the life in the hope that a cure will be found or some tech will come out that'll save them? What would you do?
Depends on the amount of time, but if it was 100% definite, nothing I could do about it, well then I'd give them the option. But if it was like 6 years from now, blah blah, then I'd just hold on. I think it's more probably like what you said about the like a year from the expectancy, then I guess I'd say it's up to them.
Yeah, if they only gave your child a year, then you'd let them choose what they want.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if they said they've got like another 5 or 10 years,
and then hold on just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? What would you do?
Well, I haven't got a kid, but I think I'd agree with you, because you wouldn't want to make that decision and then finding out something did come out and had you held on, your child might still be there. You wouldn't want that, would you? But then equally, if they were actually suffering like bedbound, you were going to the hospital every night and your life was in a hospital as well because their life's in a hospital, and they're 5 years old, is it worth dragging it on till they're 15 and then they're going to die anyway because they're suffering? I don't know. I feel like maybe give them up to 5 years, and then
what
if it
would
doesn't,
God think?
Well, God doesn't agree, does he? According to Christianity, it's a sin, it's murder, it's even suicide's a sin though, isn't it? Like, you won't go into heaven if you kill yourself in Christianity and things, so
Well,
it doesn't matter if it was a suicide or if it's euthanasia. You're killing yourself all the same. Doesn't matter if it's because you're dying or because
killing
you're
the
depressed.
euthanasia.
Yeah, because I remember doing RE, there was loads of arguments then. Is it the quality of life or the quantity of life? To me, it's always quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me personally. And that's how we do it with our pets. So, deep down, for us all, is it quality over quantity? Are we being selfish for holding on sometimes because we don't want to lose that person even though they're suffering? Is it kinder for them to go? That's the thing, isn't it? We don't want them to go.
Yeah.
But if they want to go, I think you got to respect it.
It's like
as hard as it is.
It's like the penguin with his mother. Kept her alive in a comatose state, just overlooking
And he should have let her go.
Yeah. Tiny fruit.
I thought it was a spider dropping down from the ceiling, like a little honey spider. I didn't know what it was.
No, it's a horrible little fly.
Fruit fly. Yeah, but
So you think we should kill the euthanasia, is that what you're saying?
I think euthanasia should be legalised as long as there are strict guidelines in place for who can qualify, who can administer, and who can be present when it's being administered, and people signing documents and things. Because I think a lot of sugar babies will get with sugar daddies in the hope that they can fucking sign them off and get the money. Which obviously isn't a just cause for euthanasia.
Yeah.
So I think if your next of kin has to make a decision for you, they've got to have known you at least 10 years. You've got to have been with them for at least 10 years, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because if you're staying with someone for 10 years, you're committed, really. And if you're that sick in the head, you've committed 10 years just for this. Well, maybe you'll go to prison because you'll get found out that it was all
Would you ever be a euthanasist? Would you ever euthanize things?
I couldn't do it myself, no. I couldn't administer. I could be, obviously with my dog I was there to support, with patients I was there to support. But with a human I think that would be very hard, but equally it's nicer for that person to go surrounded by their loved ones, and I think that's what you got to think of, just not about yourself at any point. You've got to respect the person's wishes.
They're the ones passing, not you, innit?
Yeah. Yeah, so as hard as it is on you, it's their last wish, so fucking straighten up and get it sorted. Do it for them.
Grow up. Go on. Let them kill themselves. Grow up.
Yeah. They've been suffering ages. Stop being so selfish, making them live when they don't want to.
Being childish? What do you mean you want them to stay around? What are you? A fucking child? Let them die. Let them kill themselves. It's fine.
Yeah,
Grow
if there's
up.
no quality of life, let themselves go.
Yeah.
And just respect the wishes and yeah.
Positive spirits, energy.
Yeah. Well, I think we've pretty much summarised our thoughts on the new terminally ill adults end of life bill. Something like that.
So TR or so it's the
TIL.
It's the toll bit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how it is there.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Sound. Thanks for watching, guys. Let us know your thoughts on euthanasia and the new bill in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a 5-star review on Spotify.